Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrivateTrade.com. The vacation is over. It's good to be back. And we're here to talk about the Detroit Lions. We know this isn't the most exciting time in terms of football. Season obviously over. NFL draft obviously over. But there's still tons of football goodness. We know we've got the OTAs, training camp. Before you know it, it'll be preseason and the regular season. But the Lions have some work to do. And I'm sure all of you will agree with me. This isn't going to really need a poll question because I think very few will disagree with what I have to say here. But I'm just here to stress the importance, and it's as follows. The Lions need to make their first priority, and I'm sure this is what their first priority is, but I'm just emphasizing the re-signing of the beard, DeAndre Levy. I'm here to give you 3 reasons why DeAndre Levy needs to be re-signed before the season begins, at the very least during the regular season. We don't want him to go into the next offseason not signed long-term. First of all, it's because the player himself, we know what he's done on the field. Should have been a Pro Bowler the last few years. He's been robbed. And we know 4-3 outside linebackers, they don't have a ton of sacks, so a lot of times they get overlooked. But if you have a nucleus and you already lost a key cog in this defense, Ndamukong Suh, you know, Terrell Austin is only so good. If you're looking at the nucleus of this team, I'm saying it's going to have to be Darius Slay, Ziggy Ezekiel Ansah, and DeAndre Levy going forward the next 4 to 5 years for this defense to be dominant. Going to have good players. He's probably the best defensive player on this team now, so you have to re-sign him because of that. Number 2, it's the domino effect. Once he's signed on long-term 4 or 5 year deal, you can start talking to Haloti Ngata. Some of you are saying, let's wait to see what Ngata can do. I have confidence that this season, possibly the next season or 2, Ngata will fit in well with this team. Suh's run defense is almost replaced adequately, if not even better, with Haloti Ngata. You're not going to get the pass rush, but despite his age and he had the issues with performance-enhancing drugs, I'm confident that Ngata will be effective for this team for the next 2, maybe even 3 seasons. None of that can be done. The extension of Riley Reeve, nothing can be done until DeAndre Levy is signed long-term. So once that domino hits, all the other dominoes that are important too will fall in its place. The last reason is this. You let him go into free agency. Now you're in competition with other teams. I'm going to take a gander and say he will be a Pro Bowler this year if his stats are similar to the last few years where he's had a multitude of interceptions, a multitude of tackles. He'll be a Pro Bowler this year. There's already been talk about him being overlooked. Martin Mayhew, you know, getting on the horn. So the hype for DeAndre Levy is not just here in Detroit, but it's starting to be league-wide. So another successful season this year. You let him go into free agency as a Pro Bowler, being young. We know the type of money that's being flashed around. I'm not just talking about Ndamukong Suh. You know, money is being thrown around. And so you're competing with other teams now. Coming off potentially a Pro Bowl season, I think if you sign him before the season starts, you can have a modest deal, maybe in the 5-year, $50 million range, which is a lot for an outside linebacker in a 4-3. But if you let him go to free agency, let him test the market, now we're talking about $11 million, $12, $13 million annually, especially if he has another consistent season like he did. Like I said, he'll probably be a Pro Bowler if he does that. So now you're competing with other teams. And we saw what happens when you compete with other teams. Just look at Suh. Someone, somewhere, willing to break the bank, and then you lose out on this player. As good as the defense was last year, maybe they'll still be good this year. I think they will still be top 10. You can't keep losing players. You already lost the most dominant defensive tackle in the last few years. A surefire Hall of Famer. I don't care how good Terrell Austin is, no matter how long he'll even be here, but you need good players. Build your nucleus around DeAndre Levy, Ziggy Ansah, Darius Slay. It all starts with that first domino, signing DeAndre Levy long-term. Let me get your thoughts, comments, concerns about this video here. If you disagree, I want to hear about this. I want to hear that random guy is going to say, Tahir Whitehead's one outside linebacker, Kyle Van Noy is I want to hear that crazy guy come out and say that. Please leave your thoughts as well. We will respectfully, but nonetheless, bash you. So, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. I'll be back soon. I know it's been a while, a little time off. Now it's time to get into football gear as the season is just around the corner. So, until next time, thanks for watching. As always, it's been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrivateTrade.com.